but a victory for competency. Getting a very clear message to Elon Musk.
We got about 30 seconds.
About 30 seconds.
Live from the Civic Media World Headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Todd Allbaugh, along with our outstanding producer, Mr. Aaron Zommers, on the board. It is 6 past the hour of 12 noon on this Friday, TGIF, April 11th, 2025. We made it, folks. Made it to the end of the week, Zommers. Here we are. And sunny sky, well, partly sunny right now at the world headquarters of Civic Media in downtown Madison. Going to start warming up. The Dane County Farmers Market here in Madison kicks off tomorrow on the Capitol Square. You know winter is officially over when the carts and the booze and all the great producers come back to the square.
I didn't actually realize that was this weekend because I don't pay attention to what's happening outside of, political news.
Remember what Ken Lewis says. We're never so poor that we can't pay attention.
Yes, it is. It is a bad choice.
But do you enjoy the farmers market?
Yeah, I think I should go tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be nice weather. I'll get up. But, this time of year, just stuff maybe in a hoop house that's been, growing early, or they could have winter, things carried over, potatoes and that kind of thing. Honey is always a big one this time. They still have honey and eggs. Eggs. They have to put Capitol Police around the egg.
Might
booth.
have to. Although at least you can get the baked goods that they always have.
Yes.
If you want to just buy food to eat right then,
spicy cheesy bread. Oh,
yes, exactly.
Goodness gracious. So anyway, check out the farmers market near you. We have a lot of them all across the state of Wisconsin, and very exciting indeed is those. And, I don't think every farmers market is kicking off this weekend, but check in your local area. Big show today. Really looking forward to it. In hour 2 at 1:30, it's our bi-weekly visit from the managing editor of eBaum's World, Mr. Peter Rapine, will be in with a humorous look at the week in review. Always a good time had by all. Speaking of Ken Lewis, also, what's worse today? And this, timely indeed, the spring is here, folks. Open up the windows a little bit. Talk about laundry or cleaning.
Do some spring cleaning.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
What's worse than that? We'll talk a little bit about that. And our old friend Brady Ewing, an ongoing contributor, his bi-weekly visit is this week. Of course, he is a 3-time Big Ten champion with the Wisconsin Badger football team. He spent 3 years in the NFL. And just an all-around great guy, and now works in the dairy industry here in Wisconsin. So we'll talk a little bit about the upcoming draft. Brady's going to tell us about a new volleyball league. I hadn't even heard about this. We'll talk about that a little bit. And also big doings when it comes to cheese and dairy coming up right here in Wisconsin. In fact, in Madison, Wisconsin. So Brady's going to fill us in on that as well, and maybe even a little turkey hunting news. Brady's a big turkey hunter, so we'll see if he's been out yet or if his stamp is still in the mix coming up. So Brady Ewing at the bottom of the hour. And Scott Klug, former Republican congressman, now he calls himself a political orphan, and one of his segments called A Take from a Political Orphan coming up this half hour. Scott Klug will be in. This is an interesting one because it deals with an immigrant, and it also deals with somebody just trying to be a small business person.
Actually, very fitting for the first weekend of the farmers market.
Yeah, right. And back in the day, and I was working for Klug when this happened, government tried to overreach a little bit. And it's an interesting story. So stick around for that as well. But I want to lead things off with more on the Trump tariffs. Talked a little more. We talked a lot about this yesterday. And it just continues. There are onions. There are layers on the onion that we keep peeling away and peeling off. And we find out more and more how these Trump tariffs are going to affect each and every one of us, regardless. I mean, a couple of days ago, Trump said, well, we're not going to do the 100%. Now it's down to 10. Oh, except for China, we're actually jacking that one up even further, 135, 140. Sounds like an auctioneer. Sounds like the late great auctioneer, Danny Schaefer, 135, 145. Hey, those are the Trump tariffs. And of course, the markets for a day kind of rebounded. Now they lost again. It's up and down all over. So here now a story from CBS News. And I love this. Well, I don't love it, but I love the reporting. Headline, consumers now face tariff surcharges for some goods as companies pass along the cost. So you understand that it's not just the tariff alone. Now, as was predicted, many companies are passing on a tariff surcharge to you and me. From CBS News, the Trump administration's volley of tariffs has U.S. companies scrambling for ways to absorb and, if possible, avoid the added business costs. Now, remember, I'm going to step away from the article. Remember, during the campaign, Trump and Vance and all these people, no, you're not going to have to these. We're sticking it to the Chinese. We're sticking it to the foreign countries. You're not going to have to pay for it. No, as it turns out, that's not true. Actually, companies are like, yeah, we're not paying for that. We're not absorbing that. We're passing that on to the consumer. Back to the story. Some enterprises, from small businesses to nationally recognized brands, have already announced higher prices, citing President Trump's tariffs, while others, from footwear companies to furniture brands, are warning consumers to brace for increased costs to come. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy, that's a great name, told CNBC yesterday that he expects the tariffs to lead to higher prices on a host of consumer goods, noting that the site's third-party sellers are likely to pass on tariff-related costs. Some consumers are also preparing for price hikes by stocking up on goods that they think are likely to become more expensive if the U.S. reciprocal levies on dozens of countries, which are paused for 90 days, end up taking effect. So basically what they're saying there is, look, we have no trust that Trump's going to wait 90 days to put these big tariffs back on worldwide again. And if he does, who knows for how long? And as we talked yesterday, the markets and industry, they hate uncertainty. So some consumers, like Todd, went out and I don't want to say I'm hoarding. Maybe the toilet paper enough. Because I literally have enough toilet paper stashed away like a squirrel. I could wipe my rear end from now till Christmas. That's true. So I guess
I feel like that's not a bad. If you have the space for it, that's not a huge deal.
It's like,
you're gonna use it.
It's basically like 2 of the 36 mega roll things.
Right. You're not hoarding a warehouse.
Right.
It's
$60 worth of TP. And that's going to last me to the end of the year. But some people are doing the same thing. They're just like, well, look, I'm going to buy some of this stuff. Now, Zommers went out and bought shoes. I may do the same thing this weekend. Because sneakers, tennis shoes, may go up $100, $200, $300 if this stuff is, continues or goes through. Anyway, back to the story. A 10% tariff on all U.S. imports remain in place. China, which accounts for nearly a third of all goods imported into the U.S., faces levies of up to 145% on some items. In an escalation of the trade war between the world's 2 largest economies, Beijing fired back today by announcing it will hike duties on American exports from 84% to 125%, and deriding Mr. Trump's tariffs as, quote unquote, a joke. Although the tariffs and retaliatory moves by other countries have yet to hit the economic growth, U.S. businesses are not waiting around. Some are introducing, get this, tariff surcharges, announcing new prices on their website in letters to consumers. And it's not just things that you might think are like tennis shoes or whatever. Here's a company called, this is in this story from CBS. I love it. Dame, D-A-M-E, Dame, a sexual wellness brand that makes adult toys and personal care products, has implemented a $5 Trump tariff surcharge that is automatically added to a customer's online shopping cart at checkout. Well, now what am I going to do this weekend?
I don't know. I mean, if you were ordering that for this weekend, you probably should have ordered it already
Exactly.
anyway.
Dame CEO Alexandria Fine says the Fed doesn't cover all of its extra costs and that the company is analyzing its pricing given that most of the products are made in China. Quote, our whole industry is in China, so we've already seen the impact. He told CBS Money Watch.
Or have they felt the impact? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe dial up little Beach Boys. Good vibrations. Anyway, Fine said she also wants to be transparent with customers about what's happening rather than quietly inflating prices. Quote, the intention of adding the Trump tariff surcharge is a line item at checkout was to remind people that the extra tax is on us. I wanted people to understand why it's more expensive. That it's because the political decisions that are being made. And it's not just niche markets like this. Micron, maker of U.S. chips, also doing the same thing. Honeywell, building automation, which designs safety and efficiency systems for buildings, is also adding a new Trump tariff surcharge of 6.4%. Other companies are using the situation as a promotional tool. While it's true that consumers could eventually pay more if they wait to purchase furniture, electronics, automobiles, and more, quote unquote, get this, pre-tariff sales, unquote, play into consumers' fears that prices could rise and can be an effective way to boost sales, according to experts. So there you go. We're gonna get it stuck to us on these tariffs one way or another. 855-752-4842. Let's go quickly to the phone lines. Wisco Paul, about a minute left. Wisco, what do you say?
I'll try to make it quick here. Trump's smarter than he thinks he is, or not as smart as he thinks he is, and you need to surround yourself with some good people. He hasn't done that. But the big thing to watch is the bond market, especially the 10-year bond market. Mm-hmm. China and other foreign countries have a lot of money in our bond funds, and they're starting to pull it. And if they continue to pull it, it could cause a total collapse of our economy. If anybody wants to call in and differ on me on that opinion, they're welcome to. But you could have a total tank job here, Todd, and I guess that wouldn't be cool. Right. Have a great day. And looking forward to your new time slot.
Hey, thanks, Wisco. I really appreciate it. Have a great weekend out there. Wisco Paul. No, he's absolutely right. This is it's creating instability. And now we're going to see corporations take even further advantage in some cases and add these Trump surcharges.
Now you can't even afford to go screw yourself.
And with that, we'll be back after this on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Good vibrations, excitation, good vibrations.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I thought it would be funny.
That was good.
For historic
you know the economy is getting bad when there are tariffs now on the sex toy industry.
When it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one
let's just come in with the clue piece or the because I introduced it.
Or
so just start with that right away.
Grainger,
yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay, sounds good.
It's the Eco Minute powered by Clean Wisconsin, your environmental voice since 1970. I'm Amy Barrio. Rules that protect
Joshua and Wausau thought that was funny.
So-called super toxic air pollutants, including mercury, PCBs, and benzene, are on the chopping block in Congress. Lawmakers are considering a joint resolution that would roll back stronger safeguards for the chemicals under the Clean Air Act. Never in the Act's 50-year history has Congress ever reduced clean air protections. A new solar farm up and running in southern Visconsin. The Darien Solar Energy Energy Center in Walworth and Rock counties can provide enough energy to power about 75,000 homes. The high-tech panels can move and track the sun throughout the day and capture energy on both sides. Thanks to falling prices, solar is now the cheapest way to produce energy. Knowledge is power. For a deep dive into environmental issues in Wisconsin, check out my Defender podcast at cleanwisconsin.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers trained to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resume.
For those of us who sometimes feel lost in the middle, time for our weekly commentary from political orphan, former Congressman Scott Klug.
Each year, the federal government publishes 200,000 pages of new federal regulations, and it's hard to believe we paid someone to dream this one up. The call came into my congressional office from a Colombian emigre who thought she had found her precious corner of the American dream in Madison. Her family had started the quintessential small business. They were hand-making empanadas and selling them in a food cart on the Library Mall on the University of Wisconsin campus. If you've never had one, think of a Hostess apple pie, but actually filled with something healthy, like meat and vegetables. Sales from her food cart had been so brisk that Madison retailers had started stocking her empanadas in the frozen food section. But her moment of great pride was to be her undoing. Out of the blue, the FDA demanded she remove all those packages from the stores and destroy them. Her sin? The product was labeled South American empanadas. Your federal government was outraged that the product was labeled South American because it was made in Madison. When my congressional staff reached out to the FDA, boom, we got the back of the hand. The good news for my constituent was that I served on the committee which had jurisdiction over the FDA. Rounding up a posse of Republican and Democratic buddies, we invited the FDA deputy commissioner for a sit-down. A phalanx of suits walked into my office. We got a recitation of the regs, read like an old-time revival meeting. Every single word was sacred. So, we got the last laugh. We began to pull from grocery bags bottles of Russian and Italian dressing, Greek olives, French bread. We opened the office refrigerator and pulled out frozen chicken Kiev, a little Mongolian barbecue, and how about some Chinese dumplings? To make the story even more hilarious, the salad dressing props in our show were manufactured by Kraft in Canada. So, get this straight. French dressing from a Toronto suburb was okay, but empanadas made right here in Madison were not. Admitting they overreach, the FDA officials quietly shuffled out of the room. But ask yourself, why? An agency with a $7 billion budget chose to spend your tax dollars on the empanada misadventure. That's my take. I'm political orphan Scott Klug.
There you go. Scott Klug with another take for the political orphan side of things, 24 past the hour of 12 noon. Now, I was working for Klug at the time. I was not the staffer that handled that particular case, but I remember it. And I think it's just a good example of there are times, in fact, when the government overreaches. And here's a person that was just, she's an immigrant, just trying to make ends meet, doing what she could do. And
successfully.
Right, successfully. And the FDA says, no, you can't manufacture South American empanadas in Madison, Wisconsin. But you can have Italian dressing made in Toronto, Canada, and sell that in Wisconsin. Or like the Mongolian chicken, French bread. I mean, there are some things like champagne, for instance. There's big world copyrights on that, and you can only call it champagne if it's manufactured or comes from the Champagne or Champagne, or I don't know. I don't speak French other than we. But, so that's one there. And of course, there have been more recently in Wisconsin legal fights over, can you call oat milk milk? Can you call soy
milk?
Can you call soy milk milk? Well, that's the debate. Is that I would say that milk only comes from cows. And
well, it comes from mammals.
But oat milk comes from a plant.
Right. It does not come from a mammal, so it's not milk.
So it's
a milk alternative.
But that's the big copyright, everything else debate is whether it should be labeled as oat milk alternative or juice,
oat beverage.
I don't know.
I think beverage is what they were going for.
Right.
Or drink.
And I get that from a dairy farmer perspective. I mean, hey, milk only comes from cows or goats or, like Zomer says, mammals. So anyway, if you have any thoughts quickly on that, about 3 or 4 minutes here left in the half hour, 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. And there's so many stories like that out there. And again, I'm not here to, hate on government. Good Lord, I worked for it for a long time. And as we've talked on this show before, and now we got a guy in there, and Trump he's going too far, right? I mean, he's just trying to throw the baby out with the bathwater instead of taking and reforming some things, like Klug's example there, on the occasion when government overreaches and saying, hey, time out, let's just apply a little common sense here. Instead of that, now we got Trump going in there, just taking a bulldozer to the whole thing and a flamethrower and burning it all down. So anyway, 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Would be happy to hear from you. What do you think on that, Zomer? Have you ever seen an example like that of overreach, so to speak?
I'm having trouble thinking of I'm having trouble thinking of an example right now, but it's very much sometimes bureaucracy gets in the way of common sense. Like you said, they're just following the rules and they're not stepping back to think, wait, do the rules make sense here?
Right. And I think if you ask,
and are they applied fairly? If
you ask most Wisconsinites, again, it comes down to common sense, right? Back when I was working in the state government, you had Scott Walker and his folks that wanted to go up and rape and pillage the environmental laws and regulations, particularly in northern Wisconsin, all under the facade of, we're going to create tens of thousands of jobs. He had a State of the State address just up the street here in the Capitol. He had people in hard hats with picks behind him and had like the state seal with, there's miners on here, Well, yeah, I mean, when the state was started in southwest Wisconsin, Mineral Point area had lead miners, right?
It's named Mineral Point.
All right. There are others. Certainly mining is a part of Wisconsin here, but these laws that Walker pushed through ultimately undo all the protections and leave particularly our native populations vulnerable in northern Wisconsin. The rice fields in northern Wisconsin, and this is something I learned, I didn't know this, that the rice fields to many of our Native American tribes are tantamount to our sanctuaries. If you're a Christian, a church, if you're a Jewish person, a temple. And so those are very sacred places. And Walker put all those places at risk. And so that's a case where government just goes too far. And on the other side of that, I worked a case where the DNR one time wanted to stop someone from building a lake house because there was a cattail plant on the lot.
Right. I remember hearing about that.
It's just two extremes, right? Never too extreme. And that is Brady Ewing. Always hits the right tone. We'll come back, talk a little sports, life, outdoors, whatever he wants. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network.
News and great conversation. 92.7 WMTX.
There he is, the man everyone loves, non-controversial.
Oh, non-controversial. You guys are spitting some game there.
Not as much game as on your wall.
Yeah, exactly.
I should bring in a couple of mounts and just put behind Zomer's on the wall.
Yeah, I should bring some of the weird ones. Like my dad makes all kinds of stuff out of turkey feet whenever he turkey hunts.
Cool.
Back scratchers, where they're just like that on a stick.
My
Coat
kids
hanger,
might like something like that.
Right.
What else? Once I made a walking stick and I painted a wooden ball to look like an eyeball, and I curled the turkey hand around it, or the foot around it, and then I put that on top of a walking stick.
Oh man, see, this is good stuff. We got to talk about this.
All right.
Goofy amateur taxidermy. He also, one of my dad's favorite things to do though is to make coat hangers where the bird is flipping the bird, or just the middle finger, the middle toe is sticking up, and that's what you hang the coat on.
That's pretty good, actually. You have time to dial up a little Brett Musburger, not to come in with, but where he's introducing, where he's saying, you are looking live at whatever. I don't know if you could. If it may be too dramatic for Brady, but if you could dial up the opening of the 2012 Rose Bowl, that would have Brett Musburger on it.
There you go. I mean that voice just takes you to moments like that, doesn't it?
Right. I bring it up because he's the recipient of the 2025 Pete Rozelle Radio Television Award from the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Ooh.
So, yeah. So we'll talk just a second about that, and then you gotta school me, because I don't even know what this Love B volleyball is.
It's like a pro volleyball in the United States, and so there's 6 teams. Madison's one of them, so they have quite a few, like Lauren Carlini,
really,
the Player of the Year, Sarah Franklin, and some others. But there's 6 different hubs throughout the country. There's one in Omaha, so there's a few Nebraska girls that were playing on that team. But yeah, it was entertaining. We watched a little bit of it last night. It was their playoffs, and Madison lost, but it was fun to watch.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that. Jeff Perry comments, maybe the AI will title this segment "Goofy Amateur Taxidermy."
You guys use AI to do titles, or is that speculation?
They're testing it out as like a beta, whatever.
So yeah,
I'm very opposed.
After every hour, it just sends us an AI generated title and summary, and we have not done anything with it yet, and I don't think we will. But
it can't even spell my last name. It's Todd Allbaugh, Alba. It's like I'm not Jessica Alba. I mean, I wish I were for the money for loan, but
and it's your show.
Exactly.
It's the Todd Allbaugh show.
The computer doesn't even know who the heck's hosting the show. Good Lord.
I'm just bummed that Zommers doesn't have his chair back there anymore against the wall.
It got put back in the store closet behind him. They did some cleaning. So they redid this. You can't really see it on the camera, but they're in the process of upgrading the studio. So now we have like a big table in the middle of the room, which is nice to kind of spread out. But the cameras and lights and the microphones aren't all in yet. But so they wanted to clean it up, and so they took away Zommer's chair.
Got it. Yeah, I think one of the last times we were on, Zommers flipped his camera and showed some of the
that's
that
right.
was created.
Real news,
yeah, that's right.
Conversation and fun contests. Keep listening for more ways to win with Civic.
What do I know here? Just checking a couple of things. All right, so we can talk turkey hunting. We'll talk. We'll just talk for a minute about the wrap up of college basketball. That's over. The draft is coming up. There's
30 seconds.
Volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be like we could have done another half an hour.
Always is.
Day when I hear that song, I see you standing there on that lawn. Discount shades, store-bought tan, flip-flops and cut-off jeans. Somewhere between that setting sun.
If you hear that song, it's Friday. It must be time for number 34 at 34 minutes past the hour of 12 noon on Friday, TGIF, April 11th, 2025. Mr. Brady Ewing, 3-time Big Ten champion with Wisconsin Badger football team as a fullback, and then spent 3 years in the league, as they call it. The NFL is more commonly referenced to those of us who did not play in the league. And now is back with his lovely family in Southwest Wisconsin, working in the dairy industry. Brady, how the heck are you?
Doing awesome, Todd. Thanks for having me join. I especially love the Springsteen Eric Church song right now. My wife and I, Rachel, who you know,
yes,
we have our wedding anniversary of 13 years this Monday, and that was our first dance song. So there you go. I know, makes me feel a little elder.
Judas Priest. Well, Brady and Rachel were kind enough to invite me to. I went to the reception. I remember. It seems like it was a couple of years ago.
Isn't that wild?
13 years.
I know, you're telling me. So that was a song that's near and dear to our heart. And as it came on there with our anniversary being Monday, that just had to say that. So shout out to Rachel. I love you. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Happy anniversary to Rachel. Happy anniversary to Brady. And wow, 13 years. Time goes fast, doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, we say that but then when occasions like this happen, and it's like, wow, that really puts it in great perspective. So, well, good. I'm glad we're able to play the song for you. Brady, lots going on, but yet not a lot going on. It's kind of that lull in the sporting season. We just wrapped up the Final Four in college basketball. Of course, the Badgers fell a little short getting to the Sweet 16 this year, and it was the Florida Gators going all the way. First time all four number one seeds have been in the Final Four since, like, what was it, 2006, 2007, something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Been a while. Did you fill out a bracket? I forget this year.
I did. Yeah, I did a couple of them and had quite a few of the teams correct down the stretch that made it to the Final Four. I had Duke actually winning the whole thing. So a little bit of a bummer there, especially with the way that game transpired.
Right.
And the way that, they let that slip out of their fingers. Leave it to March Madness, but you very rarely see that a team, I think they were up 6 or 7 down the stretch, missing free throws, some turnovers, timely free throw makes, and shots from Houston, and just super entertaining. You love to see it, but very rarely do you see a team be able to foul and get back into a game the way that they did.
It was like 6 minutes left. I'm watching in my chair, and I'm kind of like dozing off a little bit. And I think at that point, I think that Duke was still up by at least 10. And then I woke up at 3 a.m. I'm like, oh, geez, my neck, and I got to go to bed. I'm like, well, I'm sure Duke probably. And I look at my phone, and here Houston comes back and wins it. I'm like, oh, but I did go back and watch the last 6 minutes after that the next day. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Wisconsin Badgers. Some big news there, I think, over the last couple of weeks. First of all, John Blackwell saying he's going to test the NBA waters while still maintaining eligibility, pledging that he'll come back and play for Greg Gard if he doesn't go to the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Winter signs a deal to come back for another year at Wisconsin. Jack Janicki, like yourself, a walk-on, and gets a scholarship and signs with the Badgers for next year. That was a big get because a lot of people thought, based on this year, Janicki might be gone with a bigger NIL deal. And Greg Gard, once again, adds 3 other big stars here, or at least seemingly big players, already in the portal, and seems to be on the way to another competitive year next year.
Yeah, it's awesome to see that, but weird. Just look at the way you're talking about them putting that team together. It sounds like it's a professional team, signs a deal and, grab this guy out of the transfer portal or free agency. And so it's fascinating the way that's evolved. And we've talked about that a lot. So I don't need to go down that route, but those are huge gets to maintain Winter, Janicki, and potentially Blackwell as well, depending on where he goes or what he ends up doing. I don't blame him for doing that, trying to test the waters in the NBA. He's had a great year. Do I think he could benefit from staying? I do. But why not? Why not get the experience, go out, as long as he's going to come back to Wisconsin selfishly? I think that will be awesome. So Greg's finding a way to piece the team together and maintain guys that I think are, somewhat pledged to Wisconsin. They have a bond there for whatever reason. He's been able to maintain them while still bringing in pieces like Tanya and others that can come in and be immediate contributors in today's college basketball landscape.
Is the NFL a little bit different than the NBA? I mean, basketball, obviously different sports, but I mean, in the NFL, once you declare, you're done, right, with college, or do you get to test the waters if you want to, the same way as they do with college basketball and the NBA?
I think if you declare for the NFL, I think that's a done deal. Like you're going. Right. What you can do, which I would say would be more of an equivalent, is put your name out there to get a grade from a certain amount of teams or general managers or scouting feedback from the league, and that's where guys will get a letter say, "Hey, we project you at a third to fifth round grade right now," and some guys use that to help make their decision depending on their individual circumstances.
Speaking of your former key sport, football, Badger spring ball getting ready to finish up, I think, this week or next. This was something that when I was growing up, it was a huge deal, which culminated with the crazy legs and the red and white or the cardinal and white scrimmage. It was a big deal. And now it just seems like the last 3-4 years, not just at Wisconsin, but a lot of other places, it just kind of all goes under the radar and it's not such a big deal.
It does. I mean, even when I was back playing, we did open practices throughout spring camp, here and there, and then you have the game and all of that. But with the change of college landscape again, I don't think these coaches sometimes even know who or what they'll have for spring practice. And they're spending so much time and energy retaining what they have, which you historically kind of took for granted, and then going out and trying to find different pieces of the puzzle. And I have no idea what phase or the open periods are for some of that, but it just more and more coaches across different sports are becoming more transparent about their frustration and the time and the energy they're putting into the recruiting process. Even during the NCAA tournament run, there's some basketball coaches that spoke out about it, and it's just I think you're going to see more and more of them get burnt out on that, or need to transition more to those general manager roles to help manage a lot of that. And you're seeing a lot of people add those to their staffs as well. So fascinating stuff.
It is. Speaking of football in the NFL, of course, the NFL draft going to be coming up here in a couple of weeks. And for the first time ever in Lambeau or just outside of Lambeau Field in Green Bay, we've already seen, and our great station, WGBW up in Green Bay, has been doing a lot of great reporting. The morning show up there, Mino and the mayor and our own Pete Schwab at Nightlight have been talking about this. They're already seeing things being built. Some roads are being closed off. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, Green Bay is going to be a great city for this. To think of the amount of visitors that are going to be influxed and the impact on the economy for the state of Wisconsin and the Green Bay area, that's all great. And I think it's cool to put a spotlight on Green Bay. Like we've had that with Lambeau Field in the past, but this national stage is going to be really cool. So excited to see it. Is that what are they seeing up there? I haven't heard much of the report. So you said there's some structures going up.
Yeah, I think they put up the quote unquote the roof over the main stage, because it's not going to be in Lambeau Field proper. It's going to be just out kind of towards the Titletown area is my understanding, part of it, and the other part will be kind of be on the other side of Lambeau towards the Resch Center. So I think the main stage is closer to the Resch Center, and then there's NFL experience and all that ancillary stuff that they put up for people who are going to go up there to experience, quote unquote, the NFL. So I mean, I don't know whether they're going to put you in the middle and these dummies run at you like like a Brady Ewing fullback or something. Like, oh my God, I don't know.
Put them out there in a bubble wrap suit and let them get hit by something really hard.
Yeah, so but it's gonna be a lot of fun, and our great team up there at Green Bay WGBW will be helping us cover it as we start to get closer and closer to the NFL draft. Brady, we were chatting this morning a little bit about this segment, and you said, "Hey, do you want to talk about Love Beef volleyball?" And I'm like, "Is the guy day drinking? I mean, what the hell is like?" I didn't know what this is, and I said, "Well, sure." So explain to Todd, what is Love Beef volleyball and in Wisconsin?
Yeah, I'm just learning about it too, but I asked Rachel, my wife, who I mentioned earlier, about how you're supposed to pronounce that. So it's LOVB, but they make the B actually look like an E, and it's kind of chopped off. So it's a professional volleyball league, from what I understand. Madison is one of 6 teams throughout the country. Lauren Carlini Sarah Franklin are both on the Madison team, and a bunch of others, obviously. But there's different hubs, and it seems like they've focused these hubs around some very successful states that have successful college programs. So last night, Omaha was actually playing Madison, and they were, I believe, playing in Louisville because this is their tournament, kind of the end of their season here. Sure. And so, yeah, there were some Nebraska players on the Omaha team, and it was good. It was competitive. They were having fun out there. For me, it didn't quite have the energy that you would see in the connection you would have when at least Badger volleyball is playing for me personally, but fun to watch them compete. Like you said, kind of a lull period here. So been watching some things like that, a little baseball. For us, we don't watch a ton of that. So doing more of that. And then, some of the ancillary football leagues too. They got plenty going on right now. So been cool to check out some of that stuff.
Oh, super. And I'm glad you educated me on this. So is pronounced Love B or just love, but it looks like the E looks like a B?
I just say love. I think it's supposed to be like LO, like love volleyball VB, but I'm not sure.
Oh, I get it now. Got it. Numbskull Todd. That's what it is. It's love, but the last VB is a love volleyball. Got it.
Right. Yeah. So it's the cross between the E and the B at the end of love. So yeah, a text message is not easy to convey that. So
by the way, I just found out that the Tooth Fairy is made up about a month ago. So it takes me a while to I know.
Hopefully my kids aren't listening. Jeez, oh, God. I'm just kidding. We're good.
sorry about that. But the point is,
people's dreams out there.
Yeah, it takes me a while. To get things. So that's cool marketing. Love volleyball. That's fantastic. And is it women only then?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
And this is great because more opportunities, particularly for young women to continue to play after college. You get paid for it at some level.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. We just did a quick Google search and, you can trust Google on everything.
Of course.
So we did a quick Google search and it said some of these players are making, I think 50 to 80,000, if I remember right. So
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really cool to see another avenue for women's volleyball. I mean, that sport continues to take off. I was talking to some local high schools, bigger high schools in the state of Wisconsin, and just the amount of interest and involvement they have in volleyball has skyrocketed. And some of them have seen kind of a little decrease, especially in women's basketball because of that and the year-round nature of club volleyball and things like that.
Well, I mean, we got a minute left here. Let's talk about that for a second, because I mean, Kelly Sheffield and the Wisconsin Badger volleyball team has just really increased that sport. But what do you make of this new volleyball coach, basketball coach for Wisconsin women's side? She did not have a stellar career at Missouri. Was basically asked to leave. Has a sub 500. It does not sound like somebody who's going to energize the program.
Honestly, I saw that she was hired. I haven't done a ton of research on her, but I think having a successful record, especially coming to a place like Wisconsin, you want to see that because we have such a high standard for all of our sports, and we have such high success from volleyball, football historically, men's basketball, hockey. I mean, rowing. I mean, you can go track and field. I mean, literally every sport across the board, which is. Yeah, you want to have somebody that has a track record of success. Now, I'm sure she's a great person. She's a great coach, and maybe just looking for the right place to build something special. So I'll speak out of both sides of my mouth on that. I'll play the politically correct card there.
L.A. Tom says, Todd, you ruined every child's dream that listens to Civic Media. Good job. I was kidding. Of course the Tooth Fairy is real. I just got $100. Come on back. It's Brady Ewing talking about turkey hunting and cheese on the other side on the Civic Media Radio Network. Oh Lord, there's
that is great.
Nobody
is awesome.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
That's right. Thanks you.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. That is fun.
I don't think there's too many children listening to our show at 12:49 in the afternoon.
Hopefully not.
I'm not worried about it. It's all
Lord.
good. That's good stuff. That's funny.
Because of the first thing that popped into my head was to say something else. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And I thought, well, the tooth fairy will be goofy.
That's what the people want. Goofy stuff.
Yeah. The people might not want that. The management does not. See, I'm asked this all the time. Well, did you plan that? And I always say, do I plan anything? People give me way too much credit.
This has been fun.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll come back. We'll. What do you want to do first? Do you want to do cheese con or turkey hunting first?
Let's do cheese con first, and then we'll round her out with turkey hunt.
Right.
Hopefully, it doesn't get kicked to the back burner again, though. Maybe we should do that.
We'll allow time. I will keep my eye on the clock.
Okay, sounds good. At least we're not talking to each other from across town today.
Yeah, exactly. We're actually 70 miles or 65 miles away. For those that didn't watch last week, 2 weeks ago, I was in Richland Center, but Brady was too across town in the big metropolis. But he was tied up, and it was very nice of him to come on the show. We appreciate it.
It's payday. Get that cheese. We gotta get that cheese.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. 9 before the hour of 1 o'clock. Gotta get that cheese. Zombers, I mean, it's been a while since you played that. That was good.
It's been a bit. You said something about cheese.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That
was quick, Zombers. Nice.
He's the fastest border in the West. Let me tell you, he's fantastic. Talking with Brady Ewing, 3-time Big Ten champion for Wisconsin football back in the day. 13 years ago, I guess. Fullback, the fullback, and also spent 3 years in the NFL, and now lives back here in Wisconsin and working in the dairy industry. Brady, let's talk about that for a second, because you schooled me a little bit as well on this. You said, I'm going to be in your neighborhood here next week at the Alliant Energy Center for CheeseCon. Now we have a Comic-Con where people dress up as Mr. Spock or wherever, but what is a CheeseCon and what do you have to wear to it?
Yeah, this is just business attire, so I hate to break that to you, but yeah, wearing your polos. Some people wear their button-ups, but yeah, CheeseCon is basically they alternate CheeseCon in Madison with the Cheese Expo over in Milwaukee, and it's an annual dairy-related industry event where people from all over the country come, and either both from the manufacturing side but also from the supplier side have tabletop booths at CheeseCon. There's dinners surrounding it, there's hospitality suites, and just basically an opportunity to get the whole industry together and talk shop, have a bunch of meetings, have everybody in one spot to accomplish a lot. This CheeseCon is awesome. Madison's a great host city. Going to Milwaukee and Cheese Expo, that is quite the event. I mean, they host that downtown Milwaukee. I'm blanking on what location it's at.
It used to be called Midwest Express Center, and then it's had 5 iterations. It's the big convention center downtown, but yeah.
The Alliant Energy Center?
No, it's here.
That's the Madison one. But that one the Milwaukee one is crazy because they'll actually bring 00 vats, which are the stainless steel vats that they actually make cheese in. They put milk in and make cheese in. They'll bring those into the convention center. There's robots all around doing work. There's case packers that one's more focused on automation and equipment. So fun to be a part of these industry events and cool to see people that you work with virtually or over email and on phone a lot. They make trips to Madison and get everybody together. It's a good time.
So we got to leave room for turkey hunting, but just real quickly. So it's not so much people can't go there, go through and taste 100 cheeses. It's more an industry trade show. There might be some cheese there, but it's more for the dairy industry around the world that descends in Wisconsin.
Exactly right. Yeah. Good clarification point. And they do cycle these around the U.S. Cheese Championships and then the World Cheese Championships or World Cheese Contest. And so they do different dinners to celebrate the winners as they come into Madison or Milwaukee and to acknowledge them. There's fundraisers for scholarships to support people pursuing different things in the dairy industry, different education to give back that way. So it's a really fantastic week, and excited to see some industry folks and talk shop.
Well, okay. If you have a break, text me. Come over, have a beer on the patio or something like that. And I'm like 6 blocks away. So
yeah, not far at all.
Yeah, not far at all. That's fantastic. So that's CheeseCon coming up. Put on your cheese head hats and your green cheese, your orange Cheeto suits, and head over to the Alliant Energy Center. They have trading cards, Munster versus Swiss.
We can take it. Hey, that's maybe a business idea, Todd.
All right, let's talk after the show. All right, it's spring, Brady, and spring always brings to mind, I know there's also fall, but I think of turkey hunting as a springtime event. I know you're a hunter as well. Have you gotten your stamp? Have you been out, or do you have a later season?
Ready to go. It hasn't kicked off yet, so the youth season is the first opportunity, would be this weekend, and then first season, or season A, I think they actually call it, starts next Wednesday through the following Tuesday. So have a little bit of I won't be able to do as much as I typically would because of CheeseCon and all of that. But yeah, I'm super excited. The boys and I have been popping out in the evenings and doing our owl hoots to try to locate where the toms are roosting at up in the hills. And people would probably think I was a lunatic if they saw me from a distance. Like, what is this guy doing? Hooting like an owl. Or Rachel will pull him up every once in a while on the Ring camera. I'm like, did you see yourself here? But yeah, I absolutely love this time of year to see the woods waking up and hear turkeys gobbling and leaves starting to come on the trees. It's just an amazing time to get outside. Looks like we're going to have some nicer weather coming down the pike here. So love it.
And for my money, turkey hunting is just the best because these birds are so darn smart that, you know, for me, it's the whole calling and it's, you have to have a strategy, a plan here. It ain't gun deer season where you just sit there and wait for something to run by in 3 hours.
Exactly right. Yeah. The ability to interact with the bird, even if you're owl hooting and making them quote unquote shot gobble, just interacting with the birds is really special. And so I'd like to give like the boys a slate call or something where they can make a sound and get them to interact. And it's really a rush for them just to engage with a wild creature that way. And then hopefully in nature, typically the males go to the the females go to the males, but you're trying to reverse that. So you're acting like a female making calls to the male turkeys and trying to call them in and just experience that. And honestly, a lot of times I'd call them in and just let them walk off just because I enjoy the process and I don't necessarily want it to be over. So yeah, it's a good time. Plus you get a little more interaction time with people. Like if the turkeys aren't around, you hear them in a distance, you're in a blind, you can get away with some talking and some interaction. So it's a really fun time and a good community event too.
Oh, I totally agree. Zommers, you said that you have done some amateur taxidermy on turkeys in your time.
Yeah, mostly my dad, but I've helped out a little bit. Anytime he and I go turkey hunting, he always takes the feet and puts them in weird shapes and makes them into things. Like sometimes he'll take the foot, shape it like a claw, and it'll be a back scratcher. That's the most common one. Makes a good gift, you know.
Brady, this is a whole industry for your kids to get into at the Richland County Farmers Market. Turkey back scratchers,
among other things.
Love it, Zommers.
Brady Ewing, thank you very much for spending time with us, my friend. Good luck in the woods and good luck at CheeseCon.
Thanks, Todd.
See you later. Brady Ewing, second hour coming up after this. Thanks, LA Tom. You put Foxconn on there. Then I say Foxconn instead of CheeseCon.
Me, Kristen Meyerly.
Hey,
he also asks, what if you have a gay turkey? You know?
Rational Revolution with Mark Becker.
That has come up where, we don't know. But,
on the app.
My dad has made that joke before because he's got trail cameras out, and there would always be these two turkeys that had some like distinguishable features.
Oh gosh, please! It's like the first time you've gone.
Go ahead. What?
There'd be these two male turkeys with like noticeable distinguishable features, with like the way their beards were or whatever, and they would always be together, and you never see them with any female turkeys.
Well, I mean, a turkey with a beard, chances are.
Local radio for you.
But yes, the AI generated title is
with stations across
Tariffs,
Wisconsin.
turkeys,
Find your
and
favorites
cheese.
at
A Wisconsin
civicmedia.us.
spring.
This is 92.7 WMDX
Springtime.
Columbus,
Or
Madison's
Hitler.
home for real news.
That one
and
actually
great
isn't too bad.
conversation. A civic media station.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Uncertainty over tariffs leading to more sell-offs today. The trade battle between the U.S. and China escalating with 125% hikes on U.S. imports now set to kick in tomorrow. The White House signaling it's waiting for Beijing to reach out for talks. ABC's Karen Travers says any deal with China appears to be far off.
These are very complex conversations that take place anytime a U.S. president meets with the president of China. When Trump and Xi, or when Biden and Xi have met before, it was months in the making just for a sit-down meeting, just for a phone call. So this is not necessarily a pick up the phone and chat and try to work this out. There would be a lot that would go into it. And the White House is very much indicating they're waiting for their phone to ring from China.
In the last 6 days, the S&P, where Americans have their 401ks and retirement accounts, it's lost nearly $3.5 trillion. This is ABC News.
I cannot believe Brady and Rachel have been married 13
Your
years.
news, conversations,
That makes me
and a
feel
whole
very
lot of
old
fun.
indeed.
It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
It's all good, LA. That was just funny because I was looking at the screen and I saw that.
For 92.7
subliminally popped into my
WMDX
head.
News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. After 6 years leading the state Democrats, Ben Wickler is calling it quits. Lisa Hale has more.
The head of the Democratic Party in Wisconsin. Ben
Oh, I never got to
Wickler,
Brent
has decided
Musburger,
he
for
will
God's sake.
not
That's fine.
seek another term. Chairing the party since 2019.
You are looking live at the granddaddy of them all, sign of a holiday tradition that has brightened the new year for over a century. And on a gorgeous, sunny Southern California afternoon, we welcome you to the Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio. In a theme of redemption, the Badgers are looking for their...
All right, we're using that. Don't cue that back up. We're using it.
2025 with
Yeah, it actually was very easy to find the 2012 one. I was like, we'll see if we can find it. What I just played there is where it cuts off, though.
Oh, okay, all right, that's
but
fine.
only during peak hours. The Madison Transportation Commission voted unanimously to add stops there going forward. This would make service to the Epic campus easier. The company employs about 14,000 people. Expanded service to Verona would run every 30 minutes during the day and once per hour on nights and weekends. Matt Golick is a Metro Transit bus driver.
It's been a long time coming. I think it's long overdue to be able to get to Verona at a time that isn't when peak times, go to an appointment during the day, that type of thing. This is a great thing that we're doing.
The commission's next step is to figure out exactly where those stops should be. And the farmers market is back on the square this weekend. This kicks off the outdoor season and we will get great weather for it. It'll be chilly in the morning, but we should hit about 50 degrees by 10 a.m. Later, it'll be in the 60s and sunny. Now through November, the Dane County Farmers Market will be on the square every Saturday morning from 6:15 to 1:45. It's the largest producers-only farmers market in the country. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. You're listening to 92.7 WMDX News.
The Brewers head to Arizona. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball, the Brewers in Phoenix to open a 3-game weekend series against the Diamondbacks tonight. Their crew losing to the Rockies yesterday, 7-2. Colorado coming up with a 5-run rally in the 8th. But right-hander Quinn Priester, picked up in that trade with the Boston Red Sox this week, had a good outing in his debut with the Brewers, allowing just 1 run in 5 innings.
I thought I settled in later in the game nicely. You know, with all the hecticness this week, getting through those first 3, even though it was a little sloppy, thought it was a good job of just limiting the damage.
NBA, the Bucks beat the Pelicans 136-111. Now they have 2 regular season games left. Tonight in Detroit, then Sunday they host the Pistons before heading into the postseason. Then what? Doc Rivers.
Going into playoffs healthy. We have an entire week after these 2 games to get ready for whoever
Some of the stuff that Peter just sent
these
videos are hilarious.
That'll get us ready.
And I will definitely have to pull them up on the screen so you can see it.
All right, very good.
You can always continue the conversation on social media.
For just a second,
Share
don't
your
look
thoughts
up
when you
there
find
again,
and follow
so that I can
Civic
pull them up,
Media on
and then
Facebook,
I'll let you know when I got
I'm looking down.
Abundant
Other
sunshine
things.
and high temperatures in the mid-50s. Warm things up a little more tomorrow, reaching 60 degrees with clouds increasing and becoming mostly cloudy for Sunday. High temperatures will be even nicer into the mid-60s, but we do have a chance of
Okay, you're
scattered
good now.
showers
All
and
right.
thunderstorms. I'm meteorologist Amber Lau. Currently, it's 48.
Blind Shot Social Club, a perfect blend of cool, casual dining, indoor golf with space for events, craft cocktails, and non-alcoholic drinks too. A hidden gem on Madison's East Side. Blind Shot Social Club, open to everyone. BlindShotSocialClub.com.
This Mother's Day, say I love you with flowers as beautiful as she is. Waterloo Blooms hand arranges fresh, stunning bouquets with care, delivered straight to her door in Waterloo, Madison, and beyond. With same-day delivery available. Order now at waterlooblooms.com.
Amicus, a law review with Jim Santel.
Ross calling in. Thanks for your show. I'm just wondering if we're watching or witnessing a legal system that where what we thought was precedent is now going to be sort of cast away.
The reality is the question that you raise about the future and what are the implications when in fact the things we understood always be bedrocks of our community, of our
was that Enya Sail Away?
Sail Away. Amicus, a law review.
Maybe.
Saturday mornings from 9.
I do not recall.
Live from the Civic Media World Headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide with the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Todd Allbaugh, along with Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer. It is 6 past the hour of 1 o'clock. Welcome into hour number 2 of the big program. It is Friday, TGIF, April 11th, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite. Boy, howdy, is it great. Sun's coming out here at the world headquarters in downtown Madison on State Street. People are moving about and enjoying the springtime weather. Farmers Market here in Dane County kicks off the season tomorrow. Check your local listings for time for a farmers market near you, Zommers.
Yes, I will. I will have to go tomorrow.
And how about our friend Brady Ewing? How nice is that? That guy. I mean, he doesn't need to come in here and do this every other week, but yet still, out of pure pity, he comes in here and does this, and it's always just so much fun. And inevitably, we have more things we say we're going to talk about, and then we just get talking and time runs out. But we thank Brady very much. And one of the things we are going to talk about today features the iconic, legendary Brent Musburger. And Zommers, this is how good he is. He goes back and digs up the Rose Bowl Open from 2012 in Pasadena as the Badgers take on Oregon.
You are looking live at the granddaddy of them all, site of a holiday tradition that has brightened the new year for over a century. And on a gorgeous, sunny Southern California afternoon, we welcome you to the Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio. In a theme of redemption, the Badgers are looking for their...
Fantastic. You are looking live, the incomparable line of Brent Musburger. I was there that day in sunny Pasadena, and it was an absolutely beautiful day. Badgers, Brady, Russell Wilson, Aaron Henry, so many great Badger players on that team under Coach Brent. I was going to say Brent Musburger, under Brent Bielema. They came up a play short. Now, I will argue it was terrible officiating because the final play happened right in front of me when Russell Wilson spiked the ball with about 6 seconds left on the clock, and the officials didn't stop it. So I will say that. I will blame it on the officials, but Oregon played well. It was, I think at the time, it was the highest scoring Rose Bowl in Rose Bowl history, if I remember right. That's been surpassed by now. But it was a great game. But Brent Musburger was there. We'll ask next time Brady's on, we'll ask him, because my sister and brother-in-law, my mom and I all went, and we went to the luncheon the day before. They have a big luncheon you got to pay a couple of extra bucks to get into, but it's really cool because they bring on the captains of each team, the coach of each team, and then at the time it was ABC, CBS, or probably ABC, ESPN, And Brent Musburger was the play-by-play guy, and Kirk Herbstreit was the analyst. And Musburger was up on the stage and said a few words and introduced the guys. And so I was going to ask Brady if he ever really got to spend much time with Brent Musburger and talk with him, because he seems like a genuine person, as of course we know Brady is as well. But I bring this up today because legendary Brent Musburger, the broadcaster, known for that iconic voice and decades-long career spanning multiple sports, has been named the recipient of the 2025 Pete Rozelle Radio Television Award and the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it was announced yesterday. The award, which recognizes exceptional contributions to professional football broadcasting, will be presented during the 2025 Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Week. Musburger will be honored at the enshrinees' Gold Jacket Dinner in downtown Canton on Friday, August 1st, and again at the Class of 2025 enshrinement on Saturday, August 2nd at the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. Reflecting on his career and those who helped shape it, Musburger acknowledged his former NFL Today colleagues. And he said, quote, "I just wish Irv Cross, Phyllis George, and Jimmy the Greek Schneider were here," Musburger said, of course, going back to crediting the show's cast at the time, which later included Jane Kennedy. Musburger said, "The big reason I would be considered for the Pete Rozelle Television Award is because of them," unquote. What a guy. Crediting the people he worked with like that. And Musburger, of course, spent years at CBS and really made that program, NFL Today, the top program in that genre for many, many years. And I was working back at WRCO in Richland Center, then a CBS affiliate, the day they fired Brent Musburger, which was April 1st of 1990, whatever it was. And the news came on the CBS, the top of the hour news. Dun, 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 CBS News. I'm Frank Sinapati. CBS has parted ways with Brent Musburger. And you thought, well, that's funny. That's a funny line.
Unfortunate timing.
And we didn't have phones at that time to check Google, or, Al Gore hadn't invented the internet yet. And so it took a few hours, and then it became apparent, no, this is not an April Fool's joke. Brent Musburger was let go of CBS. That was shocking news. And he dusted himself off, and he went across the street to ABC, and that's kind of where he started doing college games then, college football games, and he had done other NFL and basketball stuff. I did not know this until I researched it for this little bit here. Brent Musburger, when he was at CBS, is credited, if not coining the phrase March Madness, making it what it is today.
Really?
That Brent Musburger was the one who really started using the phrase "Welcome to March Madness" on CBS.
So that's pretty influential.
Very influential guy. And then, of course, for the first couple of years he was doing games at ABC, he would make a big deal about it. You are watching ABC. Make a big deal. Just, sticking it a little bit to CBS.
Mm-hmm.
But that open that we played there, and thanks for finding that, Zommers, the iconic "You Are Looking Live." And when the games opened with a big blimp shot or whatever it was of the venue.
Yeah, you'd see the whole stadium.
Yeah, it was really, really fantastic. So congratulations to Brent Musburger. Can we get him on? Can we get him on the show?
We can try.
All right, very good. It'd be great to interview. That's a get that is just like, I would love to interview Brent Musburger. And then, of course, after he was kind of pushed into retirement at ABC ESPN, he goes out to the desert into Las Vegas, and he starts one of these kind of a combination of broadcasting and sports betting, because he was also known for that, like when he was doing college games on ABC. And let's say that, and I don't understand, I'm not a big bettor, right? But it's like, that it was whatever team by 2, and then somebody kick a field goal and the team wins by 3. And Musburger would always say things like, "That score will be very interesting as some of my friends out in the desert."
Yep.
So congratulations to Brent Musburger on his induction into the 2025 Pete Rozelle Radio Television Hall of Fame. It is 14 past the hour of 1 o'clock. Time once again for What's Worse. Let's go.
This or that, this or that. Then, of course, the choice is yours. You can get with this or you can get with that.
Time once again for What's Worse. If I can say it, no prize money involved, nothing to give away. But it is your opportunity to have your voice heard at all 11 Civic Media Radio News Talk sports stations across Wisconsin. No better way to advertise than right here at Civic Media. Go to civicmedia.us and find out how. Timely indeed, Zombers. Spring weather. Spring is in the air. Open up the windows a little bit this weekend. Here's the category. What's worse, laundry or cleaning? Laundry or cleaning? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. I'm looking at the graphics for this category. There's a woman, she appears in like a pink costume on top of a wash machine. And then there's a dude wearing like a black hat.
A fedora.
A fedora, thank you. And he has like a laundry mop and a bucket.
Standing in front of a green screen.
Yeah. I love it. A laundry or cleaning? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Thoughts, numbers?
I hate them both. This is a difficult one. Sometimes it's difficult because you like them both.
Right.
But, with laundry, and anything that you have to do for just regular maintenance is so annoying to me. It feels pointless, even though it's super important. I know it's just me with ADHD that it bothers me, but
now with cleaning, sometimes it'll take me a minute to get into it, or more than a minute. But then once I get into it, I'm like, boy, it always feels good.
It does.
Once you get it done.
You finish it up and you look around, you're like, yep. I did something.
Right. Cleaning the bathroom, cleaning the kitchen, getting stuff organized and put away. You always feel better after it happens. Laundry, maybe not quite as satisfying for me, but it's usually I've got laundry. I'll say, well, am I really using this? And I'll either put it away or I'll try to take it to Goodwill.
Yeah, I need to get rid of some clothes to donate some things that are really old.
Right.
The other thing with laundry, even if I set an alarm on my phone, I always forget. I'll put laundry in the washer and then I'll work on some cleaning around the house or watch a movie or leave to go visit some friends, forgetting that I have laundry in the machine. And then I essentially have to rewash it when I get back home so it doesn't get all musty.
Right. Yeah, it's mine has like a little buzzer on it. So when the washing's done,
mine does not.
So yeah. But
mine just stops.
Here's Megan in Sun Prairie listening on WMDX says folding laundry is the worst. It feels really good to finish cleaning, but doing the work is exhausting. Now, I know some people that love folding laundry. They find it like therapeutic. And I will say, when I worked at LL Bean, I learned some of the proper ways to fold shirts and pants, and it does make a difference. But I'm with Megan. After a while, it's just tedious. I'm like, I don't, yeah. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. What's worse, laundry or cleaning? Dave in New Berlin texting on the Civic Media app, laundry is cleaning. Well,
it's a very specific kind.
That's a good point. That's fair. That's fair, Dave. I'll give you that. MT Mona in the Grove saying cleaning is worse. I can multitask when doing laundry. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, because once you start it up, you can do other things, right? You can clean while the laundry's going on. We're going to come back, take more of your calls, and a text might sneak in a board game of the week. And then we have Peter Rapine with a humorous look at the week in review. What's worse, laundry or cleaning? 855-752-4842. It's the Allbaugh Show. It's Friday, and it's the Civic Media Ready Number.
.7 WMDX.
Buying a home is kind of like eating pistachios. Some are easy to open, some take a little work, and every once in a while, you get a tough one that makes you question your life choices. That's where we come in. At Aaron Weber Group, we crack open the market and find you the perfect home. Whether you're looking for a cozy starter home or a mansion with a snack pantry big enough for a lifetime supply of pistachios, we've got you covered. Call Aaron Weber Group at Powered by Compass today. We'll help you find a home that's nothing but perfect.
I'm hungry. What's cooking?
Oh, no, not me. It's your turn.
Oh, we're back to taking turns?
Yes.
Well, how about Sugar River Pizza?
Oh, yeah, now they can cook.
I could really go for some of that 12-hour smoked pulled pork.
Ooh, and some pasta. Okay, now I'm hungry. Sugar River, here we come.
And they have that great kids menu, too.
We don't have any kids.
Right. That's beside the point. The point is, I'm hungry. You're hungry.
Let's go.
Yes. And we should talk about having some kids.
Get in the car, Bob. Sugar River, Sun Prairie, Verona, New Glarus, and catering.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. In the April 1st spring election, Susan Crawford won the incredibly expensive race for Wisconsin Supreme Court. And she didn't just win, but won decisively, gaining 55% of the vote, a 10-point margin ahead of her opponent, Brad Schimmel. It is a remarkable victory. And in so many ways, this race became a referendum on Elon Musk, from his prominent position in the Trump administration to the tens of millions of dollars he put towards backing Brad Schimmel in this race. And Wisconsin voters spoke decisively, rejecting Musk at this critical moment. All 72 counties in Wisconsin shifted to the left from last fall's election. That includes Brown County, home to Green Bay, where Musk held a rally just days before the election, handing out million-dollar checks. The sweeping results we're seeing are going to send a powerful message that will resonate nationally. Wisconsin voters spoke loud and clear, saying, "We cannot be bought."
Find all of Dan's work at the Recombobulation area and on our website.
I met her one day at the laundromat. She turned around and smiled at me. You get the picture? Yes, we see. And that's when I fell in love with the leader of the laundromat.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show, the Civic Media Radio Network. 21 past the hour, 1 o'clock on Friday, April 11th. What did you dial up there, Zombers? That's great.
The leader of the laundromat by the detergents.
The only person, well, there are two people I would know, might know that song, Jeff Perry and Phil Nee. I've never heard that, though. There's a group called The Detergents.
Yes, this is from 1965 on the album The Many Faces of the Detergents.
I love it. Asking you the pertinent question, what's worse, laundry or cleaning? Laundry or cleaning? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842, or you can text us on the Civic Media app and let us know. Let's go to the phone lines. Bev out in the Driftless on WRCE in Richland Center. Bev, laundry or cleaning? What's worse?
Well, I'll tell you what, Todd, laundry these days is a piece of cake. About 30 years ago, it was a different story. You had to wash the clothes, then take them outside, hang them on the line, take them down, and then iron everything because nothing was no iron. My mom used to iron the sheets, the towels, and the underwear.
Really?
So laundry used to be awful. Now it's a piece of cake.
That is such a great point, Bev, because I remember even my mom, but especially my grandmothers, everything got, in summer or whatever, everything went out on the line, and even in winter, my maternal grandmother, she had a line in her basement, and she would take stuff out of the wash machine and put it on the line downstairs. And then, yes, the hours of ironing. That's a great point.
Yep.
Thanks, Bev. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. 855-752-4842. Keep it out in the Driftless. RCE. Whistler in RCE. Whistler, laundry or cleaning? What's worse?
I'd have to say cleaning, Todd, because my basement is full of stuff from the boys and all the grandkids and everything. But I also do the laundry, so right. I share in all of it, and it's tough.
Now, used to be
really easy.
Now you sound like my mom. She says, "Well, my basement is just full of your kids' stuff."
yeah,
which is not untrue.
I mean, I got three. Yeah. I have 3 bedrooms upstairs. Only 2 of them are accessible, and the big room is also full. So You know, we need a big house cleaning.
I hear you.
Today's garbage pickup day or trash pickup day here in RC.
Oh, very good. Very good.
So Sally and I have been hauling stuff out.
Well, there you go. Appreciate it. Thanks, Whistler. Have a great weekend. 855-752-4842. Kurt in Madison, listening on WMDX. Kurt, we've got laundry or cleaning. What's worse?
Let's just say I'm in my 60s. Drill sergeants couldn't hold a candle to my mom. I'll just give you an example. The dining room tables of the old with the intricate carvings into the wood legs and the chair, we would be given a rag and a knife, and we would have to sit there and get all the crevices of all those carvings.
Wow.
And she would inspect it before we were allowed to go out and play. And that's just one of many I could tell you. So, yeah, by hands down, I'll do laundry 100 times over than any of the routines my mom put me through.
Appreciate it, Kurt. Thank you very much. It reminds me, my maternal grandparents, they had the wood Venetian blinds in most of the house, in most of the rooms in the house, and they had the metal like chains on them to lower them or to tilt them, and so you would have to take. My grandmother would have like a solution of vinegar and water, and then you had to wring out your rag, and you had to by hand every one of those slats on the Venetian blinds, and it took a while.
I will say that as much as I complain about laundry, I do think cleaning, it depends.
Right.
If it's cleaning as in making things clean, like wiping down the stove every few days or week or whatever, or vacuuming, I like that. Right. Then laundry's worse. If it's cleaning, like picking up after yourself and putting things away, I hate that because I have too much stuff.
Tony, listening in Beaver Dam on WMDX, says, I worked as a custodian for 15 plus years. I prefer laundry. Thanks. Appreciate your listenership, Tony. That's another great point, right? It's like, your perspective. What have you done? So,
it also depends. Are you cleaning up after yourself or other people?
Right.
If I'm cleaning up after myself, I don't mind it. Because I'm not a messy person in terms of dirt and spilled food or whatever. But if you're cleaning up after a bunch of little kids or something, that could be a different story.
Al in Jackson, listening on WAUK, says laundry for all the reasons you say. I'll add that cleaning has instant gratification. Even if you don't get 100% of it done, something has been accomplished. Laundry is a 4-step process for each load. Wash, then dry, then fold, then put away, and it never feels 100% done. With 2 kids and 3/4 of our family having ADHD, it's hard to see laundry through all the way to the end. That's a great text. That's really, really well said, actually. What else we have here? Anybody else on the text line here? I think that's pretty much it. Most of the text for the what do you say, Zom? I'm going to say for me, probably cleaning's worse.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that too.
Because laundry for me is fair. Once I do it, it's just sort things out quick, put it in the wash machine, set it and forget it, then pop it in the dryer. And when I worked in politics and government, I had nicer, more formal clothes that you had to iron, shirts in particular. But nowadays, I mean, look, I'm wearing a Brewers 3/4 zip right now. And a pair of joggers. Not exactly things you have to iron today.
Yeah, it's nice to have. Well, it's a t-shirt. What do I need to do with it? Right. I put it in the dryer, and as long as I don't leave it crumpled in a ball and I actually fold it, it's fine.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, there you go. That is our board. I'm looking at 2 things because I feel bad because Zommers had a board game, but now we're up against the clock. So we'll see.
That's okay. We'll get to it another time.
We might save it till I thought we're gonna have plenty of time, and then this took off, which is great.
Although I will say a little tease for the board game of the week.
Please,
whenever we do get to it.
Tell us.
Last week, the one I had distilled is an $80 game, or you can find it for $65.
But it
MSRP
sounded
$80.
Fantastic.
But this week, I decided to reduce that sticker shock a little bit. The game that I will next talk about costs $8. So look forward to that.
Can't beat it with a stick. All right. One final one of the on what's worse. Nan in Brookfield says cleaning is worse because my husband does our laundry. That was a good one to end on. All right, come on back. We'll take a humorous look at the week's news. Our old friend Peter Rapine from E-Bomb's World on the Civic Media. Ready to go.
My clothes, they were finally dry, but I won't forget your love, oh leader of the laundromat.
Great conversation. 92.7 WMDX.
There he is in competition this week. The San Francisco Giants versus the Milwaukee Brewers.
Are we playing each other?
Well, I know not today, but I mean, no, but you're a Yankees fan, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Really?
So I'm from the Bay, so I could not.
Did I know that?
You should have known that. I think the first time I was on, I was talking about how I lived in SF for 9 years.
I'm old and senile, Peter. How am I going to remember that?
But no, I haven't been the biggest Giants fan the last couple of years just because they've been, in the tank. But the Yankees were in the World Series last, fall. And I was being pressured by a Yankees hat, and I was like, I can't do that. Like 10-year-old me would kill myself. There's no way I could do that. So I was like, I got to get a Giants hat. And I'll tell you, people in the city, when they see it on me, they kind of look at me. They're like,
all right. No. You're rubbing people the wrong way.
Yeah, they're hometowners here. Yeah.
Exactly. We got a guy at Civic here, one of our news guys from up north, James Kelly. He's like a Long Islander New Yorker, and we got into it on the juice bats because the Brewers played the Yankees in the first game out there, and the Yankees scored 21 runs on us.
Yeah.
And it was because the Yankees have juice bats, which Kelly denies.
They simply do. It's a fact.
Well, that whole thing,
rules.
It's like the bats weren't designed to like fully max out the barrel. Seems like low-hanging fruit.
Right? Well, they claim that it's legal because of where they position it within the bat. Yeah. I don't know. It's like over the
rules for bat construction are very minimal. There's actually not a lot.
Really?
So it's kind of just like it has to be within this length. Can't weigh more than this.
Yeah.
That's like mostly it. Oh,
and
it has to be one
barrel
piece of wood.
Can't be like it has to be one. Yeah, one piece.
All right.
I guess the guy that designed it was like a former MIT genius.
Yeah, they're hiring a lot of stats people now to review all of it and find the exact spot for each batter.
The sweet spot.
Yeah.
It was funny that same day there was news that like China has released these like flying taxis.
Uh-huh.
So people were like, "Oh, but do they have baseball bats?" It's like American intervention versus Chinese intervention.
That's hilarious.
Aaron, a bunch of good audio today. I will say, girls talking about what dogs they find the sexiest. You might want to cut that soon because they dropped some curse words.
Okay,
that's hilarious.
Well, we can at least listen to the beginning of it.
Yeah, I think we'll just take them as they are.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have one in here. The woman whose boobs got 10 times bigger after getting the COVID vaccine.
That is not real.
Well, they did a big study on it. And basically, they couldn't prove that it was the COVID vaccine, but they also couldn't prove that like it wasn't. So
who was the guy who said his schlong grew like 100 size? I mean, who was that?
Like that?
Yeah.
I think the biggest case against her, that story is that it hasn't happened to any other women. Like it's just her.
Yeah, nobody else.
No one else, just you. I mean, Chris sent this thing over about Wisconsin TIFF. I know that might be like.
I have the picture. I have the picture for that.
This porn star picks up seniors and shoots scenes with them. Is it the chancellor from lacrosse?
Not this time.
No, I mean our headline is Wisconsin TIFF wants to bang your grandpa. She goes around like old folks' homes and makes content. We can talk about that. Let's lead in with that. That's a good one. Okay.
I mean, my grandpa would have loved this.
Can I say bangs?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say Wisconsin TIFF wants to bang your grandpa. Cool.
Yeah.
The Maggie Dawn Show.
But you're gonna die when we get to listen to a constipated tortoise.
Yes, you are.
A constipated tortoise. See, this is why, for those watching the stream, this is why I don't look at these when they come in, because I want to react as much as I can in real time.
20 seconds.
All right, here we go.
The loveliness of Paris seems somehow sadly gay. The glory that was Rome is of another day. I've been terribly alone and forgotten in Manhattan. I'm going home to my city by the bay. I left my heart in San Francisco.
The late, great Tony Bennett. I left my heart in San Francisco. 35 minutes past the hour of 1 o'clock on a Friday, April 11th. Tony may have left his heart in San Francisco, but one of the San Franciscans has relocated to the East Coast, and he joins us now, as he does every other week at this time, for a humorous look at the week in review. He is the managing editor of EPOM's World at epomsworld.com. From New York City, wearing a San Francisco Giant baseball cap, contrary to my Wisconsin-based Milwaukee Brewers jersey, our very own Peter Rapine. Peter, how are you?
I'm doing great. And I always say that because it's always Friday. I realize that. I'm not always great. If we're talking to Tuesday, I'll say I'm fine.
That's an honest answer, ladies and gentlemen. He's not great because he's on the show. I'm just great because it's Friday, quite frankly.
No, it's true. It's the show, too. It's the show.
Yeah. Sure. But no, you had said this on one of your first appearances a long time ago, and I'd forgot, because I'm like, aren't you a New York guy? He's like, no, I grew up in the Bay Area. I didn't know that. So what age did you move away from the Bay?
I was 27. It was 2017.
All right.
I moved to New York. I've been here since.
Right. But still, your heart's in San Francisco.
It is. Well, the reason I'm wearing this hat is my buddies were trying to pressure me last fall when the Yankees were in the World Series to get a Yankees hat, and 10-year-old me just wouldn't let that happen. So I'm repping where my heart is.
Oh, that's fantastic. Look, I respect that. No worries at all. So, all right, very good. He's raring to go. He is loaded for bear. Remind folks now, once again, these are not made-up fictional stories. These are actual, real headlines from actual stupid Americans.
Yes. I like to always say we're funny, but we're not this funny. And our first story of the day comes from our new Spicy Desk that I encourage everyone to go and check out. We have a whole section on the site where we're doing original reporting, we're doing interviews, and we're also blogging fun stories that we find. And this piece that we're going to talk about is we had interviewed an OnlyFans creator who goes by the name Wisconsin Tiff.
This is a Wisconsin-based story now.
Yes, it is. Though I'm not sure if she still lives in Wisconsin. She's probably in LA.
And she goes by Wisconsin Tiff.
But she goes by Wisconsin Tiff, and our headline reads, Wisconsin Tiff wants to bang your grandpa.
Wisconsin Tiff wants to bang your grandpa. Now, wait a minute. Now, before you go any further, you might not know this, but here in Wisconsin, we've had this happen before. The former chancellor of the University of La Crosse, Joe Gao, he got sent away because he and his wife were doing an online porn video about cooking. Now, is this related, or is this even further? This is just more of that.
No, unrelated.
All right.
Wisconsin-based, or at least Wisconsin-themed, maybe we'll say. But like most OnlyFans creators, she has a shtick, and her shtick is that she bangs people from old folks' homes. So I'm putting out a BPB. If your mother, your father is in an old folks' home, she is coming for them. She will find them and she will bone them.
Now, you know who would have loved this? Is my late grandfather. He would have thought this would have been fantastic.
Seems a lot of old guys do.
Right. And so, because this gives them new life, I mean, they got the Viagra, maybe their wives have passed away, and here's this hot chick, and she says, I want to do some OnlyFans stuff, and they're all for it.
Yeah, she definitely has carved a big following out for herself. She's a Chicago-based, actually, not LA.
Oh, Chicago. But she apparently has ties to Wisconsin.
Yes, or at least it was the one OnlyFans name with the state in it that wasn't yet taken.
Well,
there's not too much from the article that I can share with you on the radio, but I would encourage everyone to go and read it. It's a really great written, reported piece, and it's also tantalizing for those into that.
And the fact that this is not made up, that this is actually happening. I mean, you don't know what's going on in the world, Peter, until people go to EPOM's world and find out.
Yeah, so if you have a little extra scratch laying around and you want to subscribe, you know exactly what you're going to find.
Quality entertainment like this here. All right, fantastic. That's a great igniter leadoff hit. What do you got next?
All right. I know the last time I was on, we talked about how people were messing with AI drive-thrus. Well, this one comes to us from a courtroom. Headline reads, Judge blasts plaintiff who submitted an AI video of himself in court.
Judge blasts plaintiff who submitted an AI video of himself in court. Do explain.
So we have some audio for this because she really gets upset, the judge does. But the plaintiff, a guy named Jerome DeWald, is representing himself in an employment dispute. And he has a video that he has made. And for context, just because you're not going to be able to see it, he is like a 75-year-old man. And the AI avatar that he uses in the video is like a blonde-haired, perfect-skinned, 22-year-old looking kid. And as soon as the video gets put up on the screen, the judge stops him. But we have the audio.
All right, here we go.
You are not going to use this courtroom as a launch for your business. The appellant has submitted a video for his argument. Okay, we will hear that video now.
May it please the court. I come here today a humble pro se before a panel of 5 distinguished justices.
Is this, hold on. Is that counsel for the case?
I generated that.
I'm sorry?
I generated that? That is not a real person.
Okay, it would have been nice to know that when you made your application. You did not tell me that, sir. I received the application. And you have appeared before this court and been able to testify verbally in the past. You have gone to my clerk's office and held verbal conversations with our staff for over 30 minutes. Okay? I don't appreciate being misled. So either you are suffering from an ailment that prevents you from being able to articulate, or you don't. You are not going to use this courtroom as a launch for your business, sir. So if you are able to shut that off.
She just keeps giving it to him and giving it to him.
She is not happy about this. They basically tried to use her courtroom as an infomercial.
Well, she pauses because she's clearly looking at the guy sitting there, and then she sees this AI video, and you can clearly hear it's an AI voice, and she's like, "What is happening? What is going on?" I guess things to learn from this: for one, don't represent yourself in court.
Yeah.
2, don't bring AI videos of yourself or of someone else who's not you to court if you are representing yourself in court.
Yeah, again, just another example of why Todd is anti-AI. It's all right, very good. Next headline, Peter Rapine of EPOM's World.
This one is very short and sweet and to the point. Listen to a constipated tortoise try to poop. We got the audio.
Listen, the headline is, listen to a constipated tortoise try to poop. All right, play it.
Oh my god, I can't stand this shit. It's so fucking sad.
Oh my good lord. The tortoise is making these noises like you cannot believe. Is this a pet?
Yeah, so she's filming it in her backyard. And that first little high-pitched crying noise you heard was the tortoise. And the video...
It's my best imitation.
That's pretty good, Zommers. Zommers been doing his constipated tortoise act all weekend long.
And in the video, you can see that the tortoise's head is like all the way in its body. It like is clearly in a lot of pain.
I'm sure it is.
But something I've never heard.
The tortoise like meat or something, or cheese.
Yeah.
All right.
Child.
That's fantastic. Peter Rapon of ePalms World. You can find all of these stories online at epalmsworld.com. Peter, next headline.
All right. This one comes to us from the AVN Expo, which if anyone listening doesn't know what the AVN Expo is, it is the Adult Video Expo. So it's a place where people go to see they meet and greet with their favorite adult stars.
All right.
This guy is not at the expo for the adult stars.
Okay.
He's there for a completely different reason, which there's no way you're going to guess what it is. And our headline reads, "Man explains his totally non-sexual reason for visiting the AVN Expo." And we have some good audio for it.
All right. Man explaining his totally non-sexual reason for attending this expo. Let's go.
Who is your favorite model here at AVN?
I don't know their names, I'll be honest. I'm mostly here for the pens. I've got like 30. It's great. No, let me see the bag. Check it. My buddy brought me.
He has all
but everyone's
pens.
got a lot of pens here, see? So you can get a lot of pens here. It's kind of nice. It's a great time.
So it's like free?
They're free pens. You pay to get in, but like, you got specialized pens now. That kind of goes hard. All right. I'm gonna be able to write a lot of things. It's gonna be great.
Okay, well, thank you.
How many people say, "Well, hey, can I have a pen?" I just got my taxes done this week at HR Block. I'm like, "Hey, can I have a pen?"
Well, imagine if you were this guy, you'd be handing out all the most vulgar pens in existence. Like, Todd gave me a pen and it says, "What does that say?"
All right. That's fantastic.
You will give it to him. He's probably, he knows what he's doing. He's trying to be funny, and he accomplished that, right? We're talking about it. But there obviously are other reasons why people are drawn to those expos.
Well, yes, of course.
Models.
We talked about this in the first half hour. This is real. This is from CBS News. That it's called DAME, DAME. It's a big. What was it called? It wasn't called sex toy. It was called.
It was adult entertainment or something.
Adult sexual therapy. Company.
Right, something like that.
And they're putting a big tariff now because all of these devices come from China, and so they're going to have to be,
Wow. That's something I've not thought about. That is, oh my god.
Well, I wonder.
Neither had we.
I hadn't either, but I just said, well, now what am I going to do this weekend?
I did see a funny tweet the other day that said they're going to put tariffs on dry humping. Which, God, please, Trump, if you're listening, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't take everybody's fun away. Come on, we're just Americans trying to work things out. All right, got about a minute left before the break here, Peter Rapon. Can we get one more in? Let's see.
Yeah, this one will be short and sweet. This man can make his farts sound like anything.
His farts sound like anything. All right, here we go. Here's the audio. This is a duck.
That's supposed to be a duck.
That's pretty good. That's pretty. Goose. That's like the old Letterman show. It's like stupid human tricks.
I know, a lot of fart content today.
There is, and but that's what people are doing. That's the point. If people don't want to report it, they shouldn't be doing this stuff.
Exactly, because we will find it and share it.
You will find, again, a reminder, you can read all of these stories and more at ebombsworld.com. That's ebombsworld.com. We're going to take a quick break and reset. We'll come back with some more headlines of the weird, wacky human behavior around the world and around the United States. You're listening to the Civic Media Radio Network, and we're talking Tony Bennett and San Francisco.
Will shine for me.
Well, there you go.
I love the caption on the turtle or the tortoise video where they're just like, where it says, "He's okay."
He's okay. You're okay. He's okay. Oh my God, that's fantastic.
Who among us hasn't had a little bit of impacted bowels, you know?
Friendly text provide remote
Never
help
made that
and
noise,
fix most problems in just
That's fair. That's fair.
No, I never have either.
608-231-8000 and sign
All right, pardon me, where do we want to go next?
Hey, Gordy. How you doing? Oh, Arthur, great to see you. What are you doing in the studio?
We'll
Well,
do
about doing a commercial. Oh, okay.
COVID
Well, you know,
booze,
to get a commercial on the air, here, you
dogs,
put it
and
on the
then
sales department. It's right
boomer
next to the
All
bathroom.
right, COVID
I don't
booze.
think you understand. Oh, I understand plenty.
The boomer fight's funny. That's the audio on that's great.
Right, but I need to have you make a commercial about commercials. Wait, a commercial about a commercial? I don't follow. I want to tell potential business owners out there.
Do you want to get talked to by management today? I can pull up the COVID boob pictures on
No,
the
no. We're not doing that.
Sales at WMDXradio.com.
As Ken Thied, my former high school teacher, liked to say, keep it clean.
So we can put all that together and get into a commercial, get on the air soon. Arthur, my friend, I think we just did.
Advertise on WMDX Radio. Email Arthur, sales@WMDXradio.com.
It's censored.
Did you know that Wisconsin has a new, quick, and free online tax filing tool called IRS Direct File? Direct File is changing how people file their taxes and bringing more money into our state through the federal earned income tax credit and child tax credit. File your federal and state taxes online directly with the
That's a great
IRS from
song.
your smart
I saw
financial
Tony
computer.
Bennett once in
On average,
concert
file
right
less
across
than
the
1
street
hour,
from where I'm at now.
available in English
One of the
and
best
Spanish.
concerts of my life.
10
Oh, I bet.
seconds.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show, where it is now 9 before the hour of 2 o'clock. At the top of the hour, ABC or CBS News, depending upon which of our great stations you're listening to. A check of weather, and it's going to be gorgeous most of this weekend. Highs in the 60s for the most part, maybe a little windy here and there, but for the most part, pretty nice across most of Wisconsin. Get out and enjoy it. Maybe highs close to 70 by Sunday and Monday. Then Mike Clemens, our great sports reporter, is in with a sports report. And then at a little 6 after the hour, it is Maggie Dawn of the Maggie Dawn. No, actually, wait a minute. It's actually, I believe, Dan Schaefer is in today. So in the guest host chair. So it's Dan Schaefer, who is in for Maggie Dawn, who was in for Dan Schaefer, who was in for John and Gordy in the afternoon, who was in for Maggie. It's
gone full circle again.
We've gone full circle again. So join Dan in the guest host chair coming up next hour. He's going to be talking a lot about the Ben Wickler, the Democratic Party chairman, who announced he is not running for another term. We broke that news yesterday on our show. So Dan will be talking a little bit more about that. And then at 6 o'clock tonight, you've got the great show Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. So taking all those programs here on Civic Media. Right now,
on Nightlight, he's going to have Sean Hanisch, director and producer of Just a Bit Outside.
Thank you for reminding me of that. It was such a jam-packed show. I forgot to talk about where Peter, just hang on to your horses for a second here. Today is the first day. That's why it's actually why I wore my Brewers 3/4 zip, because today is the first day that people can stream for free on Roku Just a Bit Outside, the story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers. And so do that. If you haven't seen it yet, it's a great movie. You don't have to subscribe to Roku.
It is free.
It is free. So just dial Roku up on your smart TV, on your device or whatever, and watch it today, starting today for free on Roku, Just a Bit Outside. All right, Peter Rapine, managing editor of EPOM's World, brings us news of the weird and wacky. These are actual things that actual human beings are doing. All the folks at EPOM's World are doing is curating this and bringing it to us, and we appreciate it. Peter, next headline.
So this next headline comes to us again from our spicy desk. You're going to hear me talking a lot more about it in the coming weeks and months, but this is one of my favorite ones that we've published so far. Headline reads, and like I said, this is not made up. This is real.
Yes.
The woman whose boobs got 10 times bigger after getting the COVID vaccine.
This is a claim, by the way. She's claiming this. The woman whose boobs got 10 times bigger after getting the COVID vaccine. So what do medical professionals make of these wild claims? I ask you, Peter Rapine.
So there is a research paper published in the Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery Journal. The headline of the paper reads, "The Pfizer Boob Job, a Case of Unexplained Gigantometasmia," which is a condition where women's boobs will just grow massively for no real reason.
And that's a real thing, and not to be made fun of. That's a real thing.
It's a real condition. But this study was based off of a 19-year-old woman who had a size B cup that grew to a size triple G 6 months post her first COVID vaccine.
As someone who used to run a tilted kilt and got very acquainted with bra sizes, I didn't even know there was a triple G, number one. But go ahead.
Basically, the study was inconclusive, if you could believe that.
But this is more of this wacky, nonsensical science from people like JFK Jr. that are like, all these vaccines are killing people and doing all this stuff. I mean, it was here in the article. You say Nicki Minaj back in a few years ago said her cousins, testicles swelled up like coconuts, and they blamed it on the COVID vaccine. And now here you got this woman saying, well, my breasts went to abnormal sizes because of COVID vaccines, and there's just no evidence to this crap.
There's no evidence to it, and there also is a really perfect comment on our website about it, and I'll read it. As of May 2024, 270 million individuals have received the Pfizer BioNTech COVID vaccine, and only one person got larger breasts. Disappointing.
Well, it would be a cheap way to get a job, know. Our ongoing contributor Jeff Perry says, actually, that happened to me after I got the vaccine. Very embarrassing. So, I'm sorry to hear that, Jeff.
But these are the types of stories that we want science figuring out. There's so much misinformation out there.
Exactly, and it's go ahead.
No, we take pride in disseminating the truth for our audience.
That's my point. You've taken this wacky, weird claim and you've debunked it and said, no. Science just is. There's no science to support this.
No. Yep.
All right.
And we can put a pin in that one and move on. As far as Nicki Minaj's cousin goes, I think that the jury is still out on his testicles. We are not sure what happened with him.
No, we have not heard an update. All right, next headline.
How much time do we have?
2 minutes? About
a minute.
About a minute. All right, minute and a half.
Okay, this might be a good send-off.
All right, here we go.
Boomers get into an adorably stupid fight at fast food restaurant.
Boomers get into an adorable fight at a fast food restaurant.
And these guys sound like they're brothers. They sound like how 2 5-year-olds fight, and we have the audio for it, and it's pretty glorious.
Here we go.
Oh, good for you. Let me help you. Do not touch me. 911 now. He's touching my arm.
These are 2 senior citizen men dressed in pants, shorts below their knees, jean pants, and t-shirts, and they're fighting like they're middle schoolers. I didn't mean to cut. Oh, I guess the show. I was going to say we'd have to cut it off. Yes, we do because the
They're touching me. They're touching me.
Right. It just goes to show you that even as we age, some people just don't mature. I guess, like me. Anyway, Peter Rapine, always a pleasure, my friend. All these stories can be found at epalmsworld.com. Have a wonderful day cheering for your Giants out there in New York.
Hey, thanks, Todd. Always a pleasure.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you to Zommers, everybody else. Remember, whatever you're fighting for, whatever you believe in, do not give up. Keep banging your drum. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.